We expect our rock gods to play fast and loose in life, doing things that would kill the rest of us 10 times over. So, maybe it shouldn't come as a shock when they go a bit too far. Here are just a few of the crazy things these golden gods have done that everyone seems to forget. According to the documentary Truth and Lies, The Family Manson, Charles Manson was still a struggling musician in the late 60s, more concerned with writing singles than committing murders, when he befriended Beach Boys drummer Dennis Wilson. Manson thought he'd finally found his big break, but Wilson had other ideas, stealing his song Cease to Exist and turning it into the Beach Boys' B-side track Never Learn Not to Love. To make matters worse, Wilson changed the lyrics and took all the credit. Manson was cool with the betrayal and just moved on. Well, except for the bullet he left in Wilson's bed.
They came to the ranch, lady. I didn't go to them, they came to me. You're stealing my music every day. You're writing my songs, you're playing my game.
According to the documentary, the only reason Wilson survived at all was because of his Hollywood connections. Wilson was friends with music super producer Terry Melcher, a veritable hitmaker at the time, and Manson was desperate to cozy up to him. But Melcher wanted nothing to do with the wild-eyed hippie. Burned twice, Manson kicked off Helter Skelter, his infamous killing spree. His first stop? The former home of Melcher, occupied by Sharon Tate. Cocaine is a heck of a drug. Just ask David Bowie, who abused it so recklessly during the making of his album Station to Station, staying awake for days on end, it may have accidentally turned him into a Nazi. Bowie was performing and perhaps even living inside his thin white Duke persona, a character famous for its pro-fascist views, while making the album. At some point, lines started to blur, and Bowie started saying some strange things in public. He gushed like a schoolgirl about Hitler to Playboy, saying, "Rock stars are fascist. Adolf Hitler was one of the first rock stars." Years later, Bowie would try to come to terms with his brief flirtation with Nazism, telling NME in 1993, "My interest in Nazis was the fact that they supposedly came to England before the war to find the Holy Grail at Glastonbury. But concentration camps and genocide had completely evaded my extraordinary f***ed-up nature at that particular time." Some kinds of dubious behavior make you a rock legend, and other kinds pretty much just make you an awful human being. Case in point, that time Axl Rose punched a bunch of cops. Concert promoter Charlie Brusco shared the story with Vulture. During a 1987 Atlanta gig, Rose leapt off stage and started fighting several cops. According to Brusco, he first punched a male officer and then followed that up by punching 2 female officers. The anecdote goes that Brusco went all out to get one of the cops to not pursue charges, and she agreed in return for an apology. But did Rose graciously accept her olive branch? Nope, he just swore at her. "You're a classy dude, Axl." You may be aware that Led Zeppelin spent the last few years being sued for stealing parts of Stairway to Heaven. You might not be aware that this is just the tip of the iceberg. A whole load of Robert Plant and Jimmy Page's songwriting sessions apparently just consisted of sitting down and stealing other musicians' work. Rolling Stone has a list of some of their most flagrant ripoffs. Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Dazed and Confused, A Whole Lot of Love, and about a cajillion more iconic Zepp tracks were all heavily, quote, inspired by other people's work, with Plant and Page brashly claiming to have written the songs themselves. In most cases, the original artist had to take the band to court to get any recognition, and then had to put up with the guys from Zepp bad-mouthing them in interviews for laying claim to what was rightfully theirs. Ask Debbie Harry if she was nearly Ted Bundy's first victim back in the early 70s, and she'll say yes. As the Blondie frontwoman told The Sun back in 1989, their unlikely meeting happened on the darkened streets of NYC's Lower East Side, where Harry was catching a cab late at night. A guy in a white car kept offering her a ride until she reluctantly accepted. When she got in, she found the car stripped out, no door handles or window cranks. Nervous, she reached through the window and opened the door from the outside.
He spun out as soon as he realized what I was doing, and it actually helped me with momentum to get the door open and fall out.
Harry said it was only when Bundy was apprehended that she realized who she had nearly taken a ride with that night. Snopes, however, is a little less convinced, because Ted Bundy was known to be in the Seattle area and not New York during the early 70s, and he didn't abduct his first victim until 1974. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.